Logic builds process. Emotion builds culture. And immensely loyal and successful teams happen when you do both. I'll tell you more in just a second. I'm JeffCWest, and when I'm working with a team or an organization on building the culture that is not just in the leadership team but permeates the entire organization, I teach a concept called FusionPoints, engage the science of persistence. And the reason I refer to that as being a science is because FusionPoints work with the natural neurological systems of the brain to create a decision that is to move forward, to build loyalty, to create commitment and excitement. Because see, in your brain, when you're making a decision, all humans make decisions pretty much the same way. The part of our brain that generates emotion communicates with the part of our brain that generates logic. When those two parts communicate, they come together and they produce a decision. Well, the decision they produce is based somewhat on which emotion is in control at the time. If it's a negative emotion like fear, distrust, a lack of a sense of belonging, that sets off a somatic marker inside each of us, and we don't like the way that feels. I often equate it to the same feeling you get when you were younger, when you watched a scary movie and something startled you. Well, that feeling that you have inside was an intense fear emotion generated. So the somatic marker was big. Fortunately, most of our emotions don't go quite that far, but the process is the same. So when a negative emotion is communicating with logic, the way we feel, the combination of the two, the natural tendency is to push back. But on the other hand, when we're growing and we're creating fusion points in our organization, we're combining positive emotional experiences with the logic of what's going on. The two parts of the brain still communicate, the somatic marker still happens, but when it's a positive emotion, we like the way that feels and we're comfortable saying yes and moving forward, and we want to be part of what's going on at that time. Well, when you're building your organization, your team, whether it's a sales team or your ops team, whatever is going on, it's really important that you intentionally make experiences happen that combine the positive emotional context with the logic of what you've got going on at the time. You know, logic will get their attention. When you're teaching them processes, you're teaching them how you're going to accomplish the goals you're going to accomplish, logic gets their attention, but emotion gets their commitment. When you do things that intentionally make them respond well to your team goals, make them respond well to each other, make them understand that you have their best interest at heart, then you combine that with logic and you get a much greater level of buy-in, and that buy-in becomes more permanent. And because the truth is, people follow leaders. They don't follow spreadsheets. And so the logic alone is never going to be enough to grow the organization the way you'd like to. When you get down to it, emotion is the multiplier that takes all the logic that you're trying to do and it makes it happen. And it makes it happen with a sense inside your organization that is a bond that's very hard for people who don't intentionally do this to create. So if you're looking to grow a powerhouse team, whether it's in sales or any organization, quite frankly, FusionPoints is the bridge that will take your team from just understanding how to being committed to making it all happen. That's enough for me today. I'll see you guys again on the next video. Bye-bye.